Very good morning. I'm Jay Dinakaran, Assistant Professor working in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Today I'm going to discuss the subject drone technologies, continuation of part, part 2, that is unit 2, components and functions of drones. So here, what are the components so discussed is a frame such as a chassis, the structural components, the backbone typically made from carbon fiber for high strength to weight ratio, plastic for cost effectiveness in hobbyist models, or aluminum. So these are the components used to frame the structure chassis. Its design determines the drone's configuration, example quadcopter and hexacopter, and houses all internal components. And the landing gear protects the payload and frame during a touchdown. It can be fixed for durability or retractable to produce an unobstructed 360-degree camera views. Propulsion system such as motor and propellers. So the modern motors primarily use brushless DC motor because they offer a high efficiency, longevity, and a better torque compared to brushed motors. So they can categorized by their kV ratings, their kilowatt rating and RPM per volt. Propellers, which is convert motor rotation into lift. The technical performance depends on diameter, size, and pitch. So the theoretical distance moved in one direction or one rotation in material choices includes carbon fiber and rigidity and reduced vibration and plastic for flexibility and lower cost. And electronic speed controllers is also a component acting as the intermediary between the flight controller and motors. And electronic speed controller converts DC battery power into three-phase AC power to precise regulate motor speed. So battery such as lithium polymer. Here the power source usually a lithium polymer which powers all the electronics components and the radio receiver transmitter which enables communications between the pilot remote controller and the drone. Sensors, payloads, the GPS positioning, altimeters, obstacle sensor and cameras often on uh, gimbal for stability. So common additional parts in the design of drones, power distribution board as a PDB. This distributes power from the battery to electronic speed controller system and other components. And the landing gear protects the drone during takeoff and landing. Video transmitters and antenna used in FPV first person view drones to send live video to goggles or a screen. Propeller guards optional protection for propellers often used by the beginners. You can see here they assembling a drone. So all the components such as electronic speed controller, propeller, and uh, first position cameras and other all components here fitted in the main uh, frame or a structure. Above that, we can design here motors, which is a brushless DC motor and a propeller for lift position. So drone assembly involves assembling a frame, mounting motors, installing electronic speed controllers, uh, connecting a flight controller, and setting up the propeller system. Key steps includes soldering motors to electronic speed controller, mounting the flight controller securely, calibrating sensor and electronic speed controller, and performing a test flight. Essential tools include a soldering iron, screws, and X drivers are used for assembling a drone. And key components: the frame, the structural skeleton, usually carbon fiber. Motor, four motors, usually two clockwise and is counterclockwise direction. So, and flight controller, here the brain with the sensor, firmware. Electronic speed controllers controls speed, and PDB is a power distribution board, distributes the battery power to electronic speed control system. Propellers to install according to the rotation, and lipo batteries for power source. And how to assemble the drone is the first and foremost the frame assembly and motor installation and wiring the electronic speed controls and flight control mounting, propeller attachment and calibration and testing and safety check. So these are the steps involved in the drone design. Frame assembly, the main body, arms, ensuring it sturdy but not over tightened. Secured motors to the frame and ensure they rotate to freely. Wiring and speed controller, which solders the motors uh, to the PDP, connecting the X60 battery, that is lithium polymer batteries are connected by using the wiring, and the flight controller mounting mounts the FC central and connected to the electronic control speed controller and radio receiver. So propeller attachment fits propellers to correct motors CW and CCW, and calibration testing flash and configure firmware, example beta flight, calibrate sensor or radio and test motors, safety check, perform a hover test in a safe area. Thank you for watching this video.